You ever get that feeling when your phone rings and you just know, deep in your soul, that nothing good is coming? Yeah, that was me when Linda, aka my mom, decided to grace me with a call. Spoiler, Linda doesn't call to chat. She calls when she's about to emotionally mug you. Hey folks, I'm Jake, 30 years old, professional, disappointment, to my parents, and part-time financial punching bag for my younger sister, Chloe. Well, former punching bag, because this time, I called their bluff. See, growing up in my family was like being cast in a rigged reality show called How Much Can Jake Handle Before Snapping? The rules were simple. Chloe, the human disaster, could do no wrong. Jake, that's me, was responsible for cleaning up every mess with a smile. If Chloe crashed a car? She's just going through a phase. If I got a B+ instead of an A? Why are you failing at life, Jake? Fast forward to adulthood and, shocker, nothing changed. While I was out here hustling 2 jobs, paying rent at 18, and surviving off instant noodles, Chloe was living rent-free under Linda and Bob's roof, failing upwards like it was a sport. But 6 months ago, Linda hit me with the call. You know, the one where they pretend to care about your well-being before dropping a bomb. It started with, "How's work, honey? Are you eating enough? Ma'am, you don't even know what city I live in." Then came the real reason. "Chloe's in a bit of trouble." "Oh really? Is it Tuesday already?" Turns out, little miss, nothing is ever my fault. Managed to rack up $40,000 in debt. And not the cute kind like student loans, nah, this was. She borrowed from people who probably have collections in their job title. Linda's grand plan? "Jake, you've always been the responsible one. You can help her, right?" I swear, I could hear the violin music playing in the background. So I did something unheard of in my family. I said no. Like, full stop. No explanations, no excuses. That's when Linda dropped the mom voice and went full villain origin story. "You're abandoning your family. Do you want Chloe's blood on your hands?" Yeah. I hung up. My heart was racing, my hands were shaking, but for once, I wasn't playing the hero in Chloe's latest drama. Little did I know, saying no was just the opening act of this circus. Because when you tell a toxic family no, they don't back off, they double down. So, after I hung up on Linda, thinking I'd just dropped the mic, my phone had other plans. Within minutes, it started lighting up like I owed them money. First, it was Linda with the classics. "We didn't raise you to be this heartless. Family sticks together, Jake. If Chloe gets hurt, that's on you." Oh, but wait, enter Bob. The man's basically a background character in his own life, but even he found the energy to send gems like, "Do the right thing. You're better than this." Thanks, Bob. Real inspiring stuff. But the Oscar for Best Dramatic Performance? That went straight to Chloe. She hit me with a novel-length text, dripping with self-pity. "I've always looked up to you, Jake. How can you leave me to suffer like this? You're doing so well, it's just $40,000 to you." Just $40,000? Oh yeah, let me check my couch cushions real quick, Chloe. The entitlement was so thick I almost choked on it. But I stayed silent. Thought maybe if I ignored them, they'd get bored and move on. Spoiler, they didn't. A couple of days later, I get a call from Aunt Susan, the only sane person with our last name. She sounded awkward, like she'd been dragged into this mess against her will. Turns out, Linda had been busy turning the family tree into her gossip column. She told everyone that Jake the Cruel was leaving poor, innocent Chloe to be hunted down by dangerous people. Like, I was the villain in some low-budget action movie. I explained everything to Susan, the debt, the manipulation, the attempted identity theft. Oh yeah, we'll get there. She was shocked, but thankfully had my back. She told me straight up, "Jake, you're right. Chloe needs to face reality." Finally, someone with a brain. But that didn't stop the rest of the family. Suddenly, I'm getting texts from cousins I forgot existed. "You should really remember what family means. You'll regret turning your back on your sister." Like I hadn't spent my entire life being Chloe's personal safety net. And just when I thought the drama had peaked, bam, I get a call from my bank. Apparently, someone tried to access my accounts using a fake ID. They flagged it before anything got stolen. Now, I didn't need Sherlock Holmes to figure this one out. Who else but Chloe would be desperate and delusional enough to try and rob me after I said no. That's when I realized. This wasn't just emotional blackmail anymore. This was war. And I was about to pay Chloe a little visit. So there I am, storming over to Chloe's apartment, still seeing red after the whole "let me just casually steal Jake's identity" stunt. I didn't text. I didn't call ahead. Nope. I wanted to see the look on her face when I asked her straight up. She opens the door looking like she just lost a fight with her blanket. Hair a mess, rocking pajamas at 6 p.m., like life's one big Sunday morning. She leans against the doorframe, all casual. "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I don't know, Chloe, maybe because you tried to rob me?" I held up my phone, showing the bank alert like it was a warrant. "Did you try to steal from me?" For a second, I thought she might panic. Deny it. Pretend to be offended. But nah, this is Chloe we're talking about. She rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on, Jake. You weren't going to help me. What choice did I have?" "What choice did she have?" I swear, I almost laughed right there. "You do realize that's illegal, right? You can't just commit fraud because life's hard, Chloe." "And what does she do?" She shrugs. Like I just caught her stealing fries off my plate, not trying to empty my bank account. Then she drops this bomb. "Mom and Dad said you'd give in if I pushed hard enough." Oh, so now Linda and Bob are coaching her in Financial Crimes 101? I stared at her, absolutely dumbfounded. "So they told you to commit fraud?" She waves it off like, "Not exactly, they just said you'd step up if things got serious." Yeah, Chloe. Identity theft is the serious crime they had in mind. I lost it. You don't have anyone else to turn to because you've burned every bridge you've ever had. And now you think you're entitled to my money? But did she flinch? Nope. Instead, she goes full jealousy mode. "You think you're better than me just because you've got your fancy job and your own place." Oh, here we go. I hit her with the truth bomb. "I earned everything I have. While you were playing victim, I was out there hustling. Don't pretend Linda and Bob sacrificed for me. They spent their lives bailing you out." For once, Chloe had nothing to say. Just stood there glaring, like I'd committed some crime by pointing out reality. So I ended it. "I'm done, Chloe. Done with you, done with Mom and Dad, done with all of this. You want to wreck your life? Fine. But you're not dragging me down with you." And I walked out. Didn't look back. On the drive home, I was still fuming, but underneath all that anger was something else. I was done being the family doormat. But of course, with Linda and Bob, yeah, they weren't done with me yet. You'd think after confronting Chloe and making it crystal clear that I was done, things would quiet down, right? Maybe a little family timeout? Yeah. I must have forgotten who I was dealing with. So, picture this, it's a lazy Saturday. I'm on my couch, halfway through binge-watching a show I'm pretending not to care about, when I hear a knock at the door. Not a friendly knock. Oh no. This was that angry, "we know you're home" knock. I peek through the window and there they are, Linda and Bob. Standing on my porch like they were about to sell me salvation, or demand a ransom. Now, any sane person would have just pretended they weren't home, right? But no, I knew Linda. She'd stand there ringing the bell until the neighbors thought I was harboring fugitives. So, I opened the door. Before I could even say, "Hi," Linda bulldozed past me like she was inspecting her property. Bob shuffled in behind her, doing his usual impression of a guy who lost the will to argue sometime in 1998. Linda spun around, hands on hips, eyes blazing like I'd just committed treason. "This has gone far enough, Jake. We need to talk." Oh, here we go. I leaned against the wall, arms crossed, already exhausted. Pretty sure I made my stance clear when Chloe tried to rob me, but sure, let's talk. Linda launched into this Oscar-worthy monologue about family loyalty, like she was auditioning for The Godfather, Suburban Edition. "Your sister is drowning, Jake. And you're just standing there watching. She's your responsibility, whether you like it or not." Responsibility? I almost laughed. Chloe is a 26-year-old adult who thought borrowing from people with neck tattoos was a solid financial plan. That's not my problem. But Linda wasn't hearing it. Oh no, she was just warming up. "Do you think we like asking you for help?" Do you think this is easy for us? Yeah, Linda, it must be so hard constantly defending Chloe while simultaneously treating me like a walking wallet. Then Bob decided to grace us with his voice. He dropped his signature guilt trip line like he'd been rehearsing it all morning. We sacrificed everything for you kids. The least you could do is be there when it counts. Oh, I lost it. For me? You sacrificed for me? That's rich, Bob. You charged me rent at 18 and told me it was character building while Chloe got to live rent-free and jobless into her mid-20s. Every sacrifice you made was to clean up her disasters, not mine. Linda's face went from angry red to nuclear meltdown mode. If you don't help her, you'll regret this for the rest of your life. Do you want her blood on your hands? Ah, yes, the classic. Blood on your hands? Line. She really pulled out the greatest hits. I straightened up, looked her dead in the eye, and said, No, Linda. I'll regret letting you manipulate me for 30 years if I cave now. Chloe's mess isn't my mess. And neither of you gets to waltz in here and threaten me like this is some mafia movie. The silence after that? Chef's kiss. You could hear Bob regretting every life choice that led him to this living room. Finally, Linda spat out. Fine. If this is who you want to be, don't expect us to be there when you need us. I smirked. When have you ever been there, Linda? And with that, she stormed out, Bob trailing behind like a loyal sidekick who forgot why he was even mad. But oh, they weren't done. Because the next day, I get an email. Yeah, Linda went digital with her guilt tripping. A long, rambling masterpiece about how I'd broken her heart, how I was tearing the family apart. And get this, how they might cut me out of their will. Joke's on them. I wasn't exactly counting on inheriting the family collection of debt and delusion. Then, as if on cue, Chloe fired off another text. This time playing the I'm losing everything and it's all your fault card. She listed out her tragedies like a grocery list, sold her car, behind on rent, creditors calling. I stared at the message, shrugged, and deleted it. But just when I thought the circus couldn't get any crazier, I got a letter. From a lawyer. Linda and Bob were threatening to sue me. Yeah, apparently I had a moral obligation to bail out Chloe, and by refusing I had damaged the family. I laughed so hard I nearly framed the letter. My lawyer told me it was garbage, and that was the moment I realized. This wasn't salvageable. There was no fixing people who thought that suing their own son because he wouldn't pay his sister's gangster debt was normal. It was time to burn the bridge and never look back. So after I finished laughing at that lawyer letter, which, by the way, my real attorney called legally hilarious, I sat down and finally made the decision that had been tap dancing in the back of my mind for years. I was going on no contact. Not a trial separation. Not a timeout. This was the delete their numbers, block them on everything, wipe the emotional hard drive kind of no contact. It wasn't rage. It wasn't even sadness. It was relief. Like that moment when you finally unfriend the Facebook guy who keeps posting alpha male memes. It just felt right. So I opened my phone and boom. Linda blocked. Bob blocked. Chloe the Chaos Queen, extra blocked. Like I blocked her on apps she doesn't even use just to be safe. Then I hit the socials. Instagram? Gone. Facebook? Nuked. Twitter? She never used it, but I wasn't taking chances. I even told Aunt Susan and the two decent cousins I still talk to. Hey, I'm done with the rest of the family. No forwarding messages. No updates. If Linda fakes her own death to get sympathy likes, I don't want to hear about it. Most of them respected it. One cousin tried to pull the "but they're your family" card. I hit him with the instant classic. Being related doesn't give anyone the right to treat you like garbage. End of discussion. But of course, Linda didn't go quietly into that good night. Oh no. This woman got creative. She started calling from unknown numbers, leaving these dramatic voicemails like she was narrating a Hallmark breakup movie. You're tearing this family apart. You're punishing us for trying to do the right thing. You'll regret this when it's too late. Ma'am. I regret not blocking you sooner. Then came the handwritten letters. Pages and pages of guilt, doom, and delusion. Linda writes about how she sacrificed everything to raise me, how I owe Chloe a second chance, and how my cold heart, was the reason she couldn't sleep at night. I mean, get a journal, Linda. Bob chimed in too. His letters were way less dramatic, but way more venomous. One of them straight up said, "If you don't help your sister, don't expect us to ever forgive you." Forgive me? Forgive me? For what? Having the audacity to not let my identity be stolen. And of course, Chloe couldn't be outdone. She mailed me this tragic novella about how she was losing her apartment, couldn't make rent, creditors were circling like sharks, blah blah blah. Then, at the bottom, she added, "If you could just loan me $5,000 to get back on my feet, I promise I'll pay you back." Sure, Chloe. Right after Bigfoot pays off my mortgage. But here's the real kicker. Linda showed up at my office. I kid you not. This woman rolled up to my workplace like a mother on a mission. She stormed into the lobby, demanded to see me, and when the receptionist told her I was in a meeting, she lost it. Started screaming about how I was a terrible son, how I was destroying the family, how I'd abandoned my blood. Security had to escort her out while I watched from upstairs, mortified, frozen in horror. That was the exact moment I went from annoyed to done. So that night, I called up a family law attorney. Not the casual lawyer friend I vented to before. No, this was a pro. I laid it all out, the fraud attempt, the harassment, the emotional terrorism. She didn't even blink. "We're drafting a cease and desist," she said. "And if they so much as breathe near you again, we'll escalate." I almost cried out of sheer relief. The next day, we sent it, one letter for Linda, one for Bob, one for Chloe, and one for that clown lawyer they hired to try and shake me down. Certified mail, baby. No excuses. And then, radio silence. No more calls. No more letters. No more guilt-trippy emails written like someone was auditioning for a Lifetime movie. It was over. Or at least, it seemed like it was over. So the letters were sent. The cease and desist was official. The inbox? Blessedly empty. No heartfelt, guilt emails from Linda, no aggressive threats from Bob, no desperate voicemails from Chloe asking for a casual $5,000 like she was ordering Starbucks. And for a hot minute I thought I'd won. The silence hit like that first moment after a storm. You're not sure if it's over or if it's just the eye, and you're about to get slapped again. But either way, it was quiet. Too quiet. At first I felt incredible. I'd finally yanked myself out of the toxic swamp that was my family dynamic. No more walking on eggshells. No more being the designated fixer while Chloe got to live like a drama magnet with a trust fund mindset and zero trust fund. But then, something weird started to creep in. Not guilt. Not regret. Doubt. What if I overreacted? What if they did love me in their messed up way? What if Bob's weird dad grunts were his love language? And that right there, that spiral? That's the trauma talking. That's what happens when you've been emotionally blackmailed for so long, you start mistaking manipulation for affection. I had to keep reminding myself of the facts. Chloe tried to steal from me. Linda and Bob tried to sue me. They showed up at my house. At my job. Spread lies to the entire extended family. And yet, my brain still went. Yeah, but maybe they just needed help expressing themselves? Nah. That's how they win. I had to remind myself, no contact isn't cruelty, it's self-defense. And once that clicked, everything got clearer. Sharper. So I started rebuilding. Not just my boundaries, but my whole freaking life. I reconnected with people I'd pulled away from because of the chaos. Old friends, distant cousins who weren't stuck orbiting planet Linda. One of those cousins even said, "Dude, I always wondered how you dealt with them. Chloe's a walking Lifetime movie." Thank you. I also started dating again, not seriously, but with people who didn't make me feel like I owed them rent for existing. And get this, I met someone. Real chill. Grounded. Listens without turning everything into a soap opera. And for the first time in years I felt normal. Then, about a month into this new calm era, I got a little update about Chloe. Not from her, she's still blocked harder than a scam caller, but through a mutual friend who didn't realize I'd cut ties. Turns out, Chloe finally got evicted. Couldn't keep up with the rent. Shocking, I know. She's now living with a friend, and by living with, I mean, mooching off. Working some part-time gig, she's already complaining about it. And honestly, I felt nothing. No anger. No satisfaction. No pity. Just nothing. Because this wasn't about revenge. This wasn't a victory lap. It was about getting out before her chaos became my collapse. People always say, "But that's your family." Like it's some unbreakable contract you never signed. But what they don't tell you is, family doesn't give people the right to destroy your peace. Blood might be thicker than water, but it sure as hell isn't thicker than boundaries. So yeah, no contact didn't feel good right away. It felt weird. It felt heavy. But now, it feels like freedom. And if that makes me the villain in their story, cool. I'll bring my own soundtrack. So here we are. 6 months deep into no contact, and for the first time in my life, I get what people mean when they say peace and quiet. No more guilt trips disguised as phone calls. No more letters trying to rewrite history. No more surprise visits like I'm part of some twisted family reality show. Just life. My life. On my terms. Looking back, it's wild how long I tolerated it. How many times have I let Linda, Bob, and Chloe turn me into their personal safety net? Every time Chloe tripped over her own bad decisions, guess who was expected to catch her? Me. Good old dependable Jake. But when I finally said, enough, it was like I'd committed a crime against the sacred family code, the one where being related somehow means you owe us everything. Let's get real here. Chloe wasn't a victim. She was a pro at playing one. Linda wasn't a concerned mom. She was a master manipulator with a PhD in guilt tripping. Bob? Well, Bob was just Bob, silent, enabling, probably wondering how his life ended up in this mess, but too passive to stop it. And me? I was the guy who finally stopped playing their game. I won't lie, cutting off your family isn't some triumphant movie moment with uplifting music. It's messy. It's lonely at times. And yeah, you question yourself. But would I do it again? Absolutely. Because here's what I've learned. You don't owe anyone your sanity just because you shared DNA. Family loyalty doesn't mean sacrificing yourself on the altar of someone else's bad choices. And walking away isn't weakness, it's survival. These days, I'm focused on me. I landed that promotion I'd been chasing for years. I've built real relationships with people who actually respect me, not because they want something, but because they value who I am. As for Chloe? Last I heard, she's still hopping from couch to couch, probably blaming everyone but herself. And Linda and Bob? Word is they're still telling anyone who'll listen that I'm the ungrateful son who abandoned his family. Let them talk. I'm too busy living a drama-free life to care. So, to everyone out there dealing with toxic family dynamics, yeah, it's hard. It messes with your head. But trust me when I say, choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. Now here's where I throw it to you guys, the real judges of Reddit drama. What would you have done in my shoes? Could you cut off your entire family if they pulled this level of crazy? Or would you have caved somewhere along the way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I know this one's gonna spark some debates. And hey, if you've ever had to set those brutal boundaries, tell me, did it get better for you too? Thanks for sticking around for this wild ride. Until next time, stay sane, stay sarcastic, and remember, no is a complete sentence.